Hello everyone, this is Sankalp and I am here to present my virtual seminar for the course CE4903, that is Seminar and Technical Writing. This is a report on the book I Am Malala, which is basically a biography of the great political activist from Pakistan, Malala Yousafzai. Before beginning, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my professor, Professor Mahindra Gattu, for providing me this unique opportunity to go through her life and learn from her. Moving on to the table of contents, we will be going through the co-author, then a brief overview about her life, then her early childhood and struggles, then we will be learning about the rise of the Taliban in a valley, then we will be knowing about Gul Makai. What Gul Makai is will be explained later on. Then we will be going through the day when her world changed, that is the day when she was attacked by the Taliban, then the journey into the unknown, and at last but not the least, recognition for efforts where we would be learning about the awards that she has received for her sacrifices. Moving forward, the book has been co-authored by Christina Lamb. She is one of the world's leading foreign correspondents. She has reported on Pakistan and Afghanistan since 1987. Educated at Oxford and Harvard, she is the author of 5 books and has won a string of awards, including Britain's Foreign Correspondent of the Year 5 times, as well as Prix Beux, Europe's most prestigious award for war correspondents. She currently works for the Sunday Times and lives between London and Portugal with her husband and son. I Am Malala is basically the story of the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. It is the memoir of a girl, of a remarkable teenager who put her life at risk for the right to be educated. The book has been co-written by Christina Lamb and was published on 8th October 2013. The following article summarizes the issues she used to face ever since her birth and how she managed to overcome those by sheer virtue of her strong willpower. It is often said that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world, whether a developing nation admits it or not, but its girls are its greatest resource. Educating them is the single highest return investment available. Well, this holds true for most nations. People in the country where Malala was born, Pakistan, somehow feel otherwise. Pakistan has long been a country that has borne the brunt of male chauvinism and social prejudices. It was a country where the birth of a girl child was looked down upon, while the birth of a boy was celebrated with vim and vigor. Malala was born on a beautiful summer morning in 12th July 1997. However, she was blessed with beneficent parents who supported her under all circumstances. They named her Malala after Malalai of Maiwand, the greatest heroine of Afghanistan, hoping that just like her namesake, Malala would be an inspiration for generations to come. Her early days were spent in Swat Valley, Pakistan, which is blessed with a picturesque landscape, towering mountains, gushing waterfalls, and crystal clear lakes, as can be seen from the picture attached. It was a tranquil valley, and it's quite hard to imagine that a few years down the lane it would be the epicenter of the Taliban movement, thereby getting ravaged in the process. Ever since her childhood, she has always admired her father, Ziauddin. He was an education attaché for the Pakistan consulate and an advisor of global education for the United Nations. However, her father always used to stutter while speaking, and it's a terrible thing for a man who loved poetry and words. Well, he may be short on big words, but he was certainly long in outreach. And he was a great campaigner for the cause of girls' right to education, and he passed on those genes to her daughter. Her father always dreamed of opening a school where top-notch education could be provided to those who are deprived of it. This dream bore fruit when he started Kushal school with his old acquaintance. The initial days were a struggle because they had to move door to door to convince parents to send their children to school. But even after it gained momentum and children started coming, there was still a major issue to be resolved: money. Because many students were enrolled for free, and those who paid, the amount was not enough. Well, rather, I would say it was just enough to pay for teachers' salaries and the house rent. As a result, Malala's initial days were spent in the school itself, as they had nowhere else to live. She used to sit in higher classes even as a toddler and developed a penchant for learning since then. This quest for knowledge reflected in her own schooling days, where she used to top her class almost regularly with a healthy percentage of marks. She was also an avid reader of books, which provided her an outlook into the real world from a very young age. She was also very empathetic with the children who did not have access to education. One day she saw some children collecting garbage, and her heart melted, and she asked her father to enroll them in her school for free. This clearly shows how magnanimous she was and that she had a genuine desire to help others, unlike others who help people in order to gain short term fame and publicity. Well, there was even a mufti who tried to close their school by maligning them. He said terrible things about the school. He said that there were vulgar things going on inside the school and the school should be closed immediately. There were many such people who tried to malign the reputation of the school, hoping that it would ultimately lead to its closure. But they had to bow down before Malala's and her father's insurmountable courage. Well, they say that misfortune comes on horse's back but leaves on foot. In these tough times, even nature seemed to be going against them. In a peaceful and calm valley like Swat, there was an earthquake measuring 7.6 on the Richter scale. The earthquake led to a major devastation of the furniture and the school building itself. And after it got over, they had to again start from scratch. Well, it was after this magnitude earthquake that the obstacles reached a rock bottom. They reached a nadir. A man named Maulana Fazlullah started preaching the teachings of the Quran over the radio. Slowly but steadily, he started having a profound impact on the masses. His sugar coated words concealed his malicious desires. His following among people rose, and it was exploited by Fazlullah. He called his group the Taliban and ordered his men to shut down schools, DVD shops, and dance classes, among other things. They were against educating girls. Even the police were afraid of the Taliban, and as they possessed modern warfare, which they bought with the money that people gave them as offerings in the initial days, it was as if the Taliban ruled Swat. Anyone who defied them was killed or beheaded in the public to set a precedent for others. But credit needs to be given where it is due, because Malala and her father kept the school running in a clandestine way, notwithstanding the threats given by the Taliban. But finally, they had to give in when many of their teachers and parents opposed their decision to keep the school open while putting human lives at stake. The officials in the government were slow to react to this situation, and the army was sent in to the valley very late. But even the army's presence proved to be a nuisance, as there were gunfights in the streets and people were being held hostages inside their homes. In short, the peace and serenity of one of the most peaceful places on the earth was destroyed, was long lost, and they had to move in to a different place to temporarily avoid this chaos, resulting in a mass exodus. Malala, after returning to her valley, decided to raise her voice and draw attention of leaders all around the globe to the situation prevailing in the valley. She started writing blogs under the pseudonym Gul Makai for a weekly BBC magazine. Some newspapers even started printing extracts from the diary of Gul Makai, and the BBC even made a recording of it using another girl's voice. With this, people began to see that the pen and the words that come from it can be more powerful than machine guns and tanks. The world was starting to take notice of a small girl who was unafraid to speak. The world was starting to take notice of Malala. However, her mother, Turpekai, always used to oppose Malala's frontline participation in these controversial topics. She always feared that something ominous may happen to her as she spoke against the Taliban so openly. But her father always assured her, saying that however heartless the Taliban may be, they would never attack a child. Little did he know that he would be proved wrong very soon. On 9th October 2012, Malala was returning from her school along with some of her friends when all hell broke loose. A man intercepted their van and shot 3 bullets at her, which even ricocheted and hit 2 of her other friends. The voice of a girl who fought for the rights of other girls' education had been silenced. But for how long? Well, the bullet had narrowly missed her brain and spine, and as if by a miracle of the Almighty, Malala survived. However, her condition was critical and she had to be operated upon urgently to save her life. At first, she was taken to the military hospital in Islamabad, where she underwent a 5 hour long surgery. This incident made her a global celebrity, and aid started flowing in from all around the world. She was even flown to the United Kingdom on the advice of senior doctors and world leaders in the search of better rehab facilities. As a result, she recovered well and is now settled in Birmingham with her family. Though she longs to go back to Pakistan, to Swat Valley, but as the stakes are quite high and the risk is too much to handle, she has had to stay put in the UK since 2013. Facing such an attack at such a tender age would have deterred the courage of any ordinary civilian. But Malala is not ordinary. Even now, she continues to fight for girls' right to education and was even awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014 for the same, thereby becoming the youngest ever recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. Then again, she was awarded the International Children's Peace Prize in 2013, and the list of the awards that she has received is quite endless. And with the prize money that she received, she has even set up the Malala Fund, whose mission demands that we act decisively to educate girls and empower them to change their lives and communities. A small reward for her big dreams. Well, with this, I would like to conclude that Malala Yousafzai is neither a popular sportsperson nor a dashing actress. She is just a simple girl, a girl whose short stature did not deter her from achieving great heights in life, a girl whose indomitable spirit more than adequately made up for her frail physique, a girl who stood up for the rights of other girls even in the face of death. Yet she is a global icon and an inspiration to many youngsters around the world, including me. This is the story of Malala, the girl who survived. With this, I would like to sign off. Thank you.